And welcome back, everyone. Oh, no, I need to fix that. I thought I had everything covered, but just give me un momento, por favor. There we go. I'm joined once again by my plushies and my duck. Welcome, everyone, to our second cast of the day. One right into the other. This is, of course, going to be our BTL match. Some of you may be wondering, what the hell is BTL? That is Berserker Team League. That is a North American based team league that is currently running, and this is, oh, as I quickly just update this, beautiful, this is week 4. We had a really rough week 1. Week 1 we went up against Genesis Gaming and we underperformed. Not gonna lie, we underperformed a little bit against Genesis Gaming and we went down in that series. Week 2 we went up against Infernales Esports, the Latin American team. We went up against Paco and Mike. We went up against Eggs as well as Eon, and we came out on top in a very nice fashion. Last week we went up against Unidos por el Vicio. We also took the W against Unidos as well. We had a beautiful showing there, and now we are up against License to Kill. If you want to have a look at the previous results, exclamation mark B in the chat, you can have a look at the Wikipedia page. It has all been updated for the previous weeks. But here we are for week number 4, and we're up against License to Kill, a pretty strong North American team. One of the strongest, probably the second strongest North American team, maybe. They have very strong players like Kozan, Maplez, Prototype, Rhizer, Rocker, Scrubbles. If you're familiar with North American players, these names should ring true to you. Ubinski as well, and that is what we will be up against. Honestly, I'm a little bit concerned. There's License to Kill next week. Apprentice Esports, that's like players like Disc, players like Antis as well. So some big names, some big North American names ahead of us. But yeah, here we go. We are getting set up, as you can see on the screen right now as I switch on over. We have our lineup. Boom, there it is. So these are replays from yesterday. Our players played yesterday morning, and unfortunately at the time we were casting Battle of the Americas, so we were unable to cast this live. But you know, less than 24 hours later, we are going to be having this broadcast, and this is Pro League format. We submit our lineups, both teams submits our lineups on specific maps, and then we play it out. Best of 5 ace match if we need it. Yo, hold on, I gotta clean that up. There we go. Ace match is there if we need it, and it's going to be on the old map pool. The new map pool doesn't come in until the playoffs, so the rest of the round robin group is going to be played out on Begged Industries, Jagannatha, Oxide, Romanticide, Blackburn, the older maps. So because of that, you know, we still have, unfortunately, we still have our older maps here. I mean, you know, it's, I guess, one last time to watch them, one last time to experience them, and we'll see how things go. As you can see, we're going to be starting off strong with our Latin American players. Erik, who was just our Age of Empires champion, or I should say For the Ages champion. We have Erik coming out first, followed by Ryu, our Peruvian Zerg player, Oreo, and then StarDuck, our 2 Aussie players as well. We're fielding our strongest right now, our strongest. Neo, unfortunately, is unavailable for the next couple of weeks. Neo is going to be focusing on his studies, so he won't be available for our Team League matches. Paddy Mac is, if Paddy Mac is available, so Paddy Mac is going to be like our 5th if we need him. Meanwhile, we can see the lineup for License to Kill. Honestly, their strongest lineup. Rhizer, Rocker, Maplez, and Kozan. Rhizer around 5.9, Maplez around 5.8, Rocker, I think Rocker is like 6k. Like big, strong NA names, and we'll see how we do here. Unfortunately, bit of a solo cast. I was gonna try and organize one of the Ducklings to cast with me, but Oreo and StarDuck are not available at the moment, and I'm not gonna ask Erik to stay up because Erik just played in a tournament. Otherwise, I would love to drag Erik in here, maybe for a future weekly. For a future weekly, I'll get Erik to cast. Not today, no. Today he gets the rest. He gets the rest. And play StarCraft, as we are diving into our first game here. Oh boy. Part of me wants to like open up predictions, but we're a little bit biased here because you know what? we're all about the ducks. We're all about los patitos. So get your copy pastas ready because we are diving into game number 1. Gonna be on Beckett Industries. The one downside is that I believe this is not, they did not play with WCS Gameheart, so it's going to be rough covering the replays. We're not going to have that counter, unfortunately, but here we go. We are diving into, oh, apparently they had to sub in Binsky. Ooh, or sub out Binsky. Fair enough, fair enough. So yeah, they had to sub someone else in. True, let's go, let's go. For those wondering, Rocker and Oreo are the two team captains, and oh my god, spawning in the top right hand corner, going for the 13-12. we have the Brazilian Zerg player representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Erik. We also have commentary from the captains. And spotting in the bottom left-hand corner of Beckett Industries LE, we have the American Protoss player. He is purple, representing Team License to Kill. It is Rhizer. It looks like the players are trying to figure out any substitutions that they need if players are unavailable. From my understanding, they should be available, and, you know, the lineup should be okay. Everyone does make it in the end. Spoiler. But a very aggressive opener here by Erik. Sixlings already moving out across the map. Rhizer did go for a probe scout, so Rhizer is well aware of the early pull, the early gas, and the lack of hatchery. So Rhizer knows now he just needs to take this seriously and wall off. Meanwhile, the Lings are flooding across the map. This isn't all in. We do have a hatchery behind this, but Erik, with a very aggressive opener, is going to maintain map control. He's well aware that he got scouted, so, you know, he by no means believes that he's going to just straight up end the game, but he also has Ling speed behind this. Like, again, the goal of this is to keep the Protoss on the back foot as Lings get across the map, and they slip in! Up! Oh my god, no! The Lings, they slip in, they take out the probe, and now Erik has free reign of the main. As a couple of boys are forced to be pools. If there's Ling Flood behind this, then Rhizer could honestly be dead. That's why he pulled a couple of boys. He wants to make sure that he can wall off. Meanwhile, the Zealot is trying to keep up, but already 2 probes have gone down. Maybe a third. Up, up, up. As the Lings step forward and almost get us around there on another probe. Forces a second Zealot out. My god. Already, this opener dealing plenty of damage for Erik. And behind this, he's just joining up, making a couple of more Lings, because again, Ling speed, that's another timing Ling that he can try and utilize. Oh boy. Here we go. The Adept is chasing down the majority of these Lings, so, I mean, when it comes to the control of his own main base, Rhizer should be perfectly fine. But more Lings are going to be coming across the map here, trying to do whatever they can. Erik is joining up, and we'll see what Rhizer does. He's trying to keep his tech hidden, throws down a Twilight Council, not a Stargate. Interesting choice. Oh, and he goes for the Zealot! And he's supply blocked! Yo, the Zealot is going to go down, the Lings are going to try and get in, but no, the second Zealot was able to just barely squeeze in. So what this means is that Erik does not scout the follow-up. He does not scout the... Oh, what? He canceled the Twilight Council when he went for a Stargate. My god. Aye. Meanwhile, Erik is going to scout anyway. The Overlord is going to be able to slip into the main base and, yeah, see the opener, see everything. So Lad is not solo casting after all. I guess not. We have some commentary from Oreo apparently, and as well as Rocker. Oh boy. As the Overlord slips on forward, is able to take out the Stargate, so Erik is well aware of the Void Ray opener. Meanwhile, here across the map, we just have plenty of drones, plenty of queens. He should be perfectly fine. The third base is a little bit late, but the idea here is that hopefully it goes up in time for Erik to maneuver his queens over and keep it alive from that Void Ray. Keep it safe from that Void Ray even. As, we have the initial Void Ray coming out, sure. No surprises there. But we do have an Oracle behind this, so Rhizer isn't necessarily looking to go into Sky Toss. At the moment anyway, he's looking to focus on dealing harassment damage, which makes sense. Like, he's behind from the opener, so he wants to deal some equalizing damage if he can. We shall see. We have a third base on the way here. Oracle going to be zooming across the map. Spores are already being thrown down here for Erik, so he's already covering his bases. He's already got plenty of queens. The third base is a little bit exposed, but there are no drones anyway, so it doesn't matter. The Oracle can't really do much here anyway. And even if it could, the queens are here. As the Oracle is looking to try and slip into... Ooh, the third is looking exposed. The queen's a little bit out of position. 1, 2 drones go down, maybe 3. Up. 3 drones in total. 4. Oh my god. The Oracle almost paying for itself there. I didn't think it could deal any damage, but 4 kills. Nicely done here by Rhizer. Meanwhile, the Lings try to find something here. He confirms that the third base is on the way, so at least Erik is well aware about that. And, ooh, interesting. We don't just have a Roach Warren, we also have a lair. So Erik could be looking to get into Hydras, to go for a kind of Hydra timing here, which may be a nice choice because Rhizer is going for the double Stargates and a Forge. Rhizer wants to slow things down. He wants to wall off, defend, and get Void Rays out. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting, but you can do that on Beckett. Beckett is pretty choky. Like, there's some pretty narrow points of avenue here and over here on the right-hand side as well. So getting 4 bases up and running can be relatively easy, other than the fact that the rush distance is short by ground. And we'll see if Erik utilizes that. The lair is finally done. Are we going to see a Hydrogen or are we going to see a Spire? That's what we are looking for at the moment. So far, there it is. Oh, neither. He's going straight into an Infestation Pit, straight into Vipers. My god. Meanwhile, Void Rays are going to show up. Unfortunately, the Spore is in position for an Oracle, not a Void Ray, so a couple more drones are going to get picked off. The Queens, though, are not too far behind. And I'm still kind of feeling Hydrogen. We'll see. Because, like, ideally, you start the Hive and you throw down the Hydrogen and then eventually the Lurker Den, right? To go into Hydra, Lurker, Viper. But the high Queen count is telling me otherwise, so we'll see what Erik has in store for us as he throws down double Evo Chambers for double upgrades. The game is going to go on longer, and ooh, we're going to be seeing Skytels from Rhizer. Oh god. I'm getting a little bit worried here. As we do have a Hive on the way, but we also have pathogen glands being researched, so Erik is looking to go into Infestors. We'll see if he can get there in time. The Void Rays are still looking to find some damage, but they can't quite find a way in. Not yet. They're going to be skirting the edge of the map. If they can't get into the fourth, they'll go straight into the main. There is a second Spore here. Our 2 Spores going to be enough though. Oh, never mind. The Queens are actually in position to push away the Void Rays. Beautifully done. Meanwhile, Rhizer is just doubling down on the Skytoss. Third Stargate, just mass Void Ray, Flux Veins on the way. I assumed that as soon as this Fleet Beacon was done, we would see carrier production, but no, we just have mass Void. Which I don't know how I feel about. I'm kind of conflicted, not gonna lie. Like, Void Rays bunch up very easily. An Infestor with a solid Fungal, with a chain of Fungals, is not out of the question. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Meanwhile, the Void Rays are still trying to find a way in. Finally, carrier production has commenced. The Void Rays were spotted by the creep, so the Queens are not too far away. The Void Rays shouldn't find too much damage here either. They will get a Spore. Oh, and a Queen. Oh, no! But just in time, we have a Fungal. We do have a recall behind this, but one Void Ray was picked off, and now the Infestors have been revealed. God, the timing on that Infestor was insane. Oh, God. That could have been a lot worse there for Rhizer. He was so on point, though, with that recall. As soon as he got Fungaled, he recalled the hell out of there. If he didn't, that would have been disastrous. He would have lost everything. Meanwhile, Infestors, Vipers are on the way, so the Wombo combo is possible. You know, the Fungal and Parasitic Bomb is going to be what Erik is going to be looking for. And again, his anti-hero of choice is still Queens 4 now. Spire is about to finish up, and once that happens, he can get into those Corruptors. Meanwhile, this is the thing about Beckett. Rhizer, he gets up to 4 bases, he gets Static Defense up and running. Like, Erik can't really stop this, but that is why he's trying to be as greedy as possible with his tech and with his expansions. Meanwhile, the Void Rays do show up here at the 5th. Oh god. See it cancel on the base. Unfortunate Erik desperately wants to get that 5th up and running. Meanwhile, being a little bit greedy here, going straight into a Greater Spire. Jesus Christ. Okay, nice use of the Roach Ravager. He wants to get rid of this, and you know what? Getting rid of it and trading some of these cannons out is pretty nice, not gonna lie. He does only get one cannon though. Overcharge keeps the rest of them alive. And here we go. Finally, the Corruptors are coming out. I was a little bit concerned. I was like, yo, like, what if Rhizer pushes out? Like, we need some anti-air. Thankfully, the anti-air is on the way. Although Erik isn't really seeming to go early aggression. Thorn in the chat. Erik opened up with a 12 pool. He opened up early on, kind of like dealing damage, and he's able to like gain map control because of that. I mean, you could argue that he was going to get that anyway because, you know, that's just how Skytoss works, but yeah, we had an aggressive opener into a more standard game. Meanwhile, Broodlords are on the way. Oh, I'm a little bit concerned that the Broodlords are a little bit early. What are the Broodlords going to really do here? There's no High Templar. I guess there are Disruptors on the way. But what is scary are the Void Rays and the Carriers. We need Corruptors, not so much Broodlords. So I'm a little bit scared here for Erik, not gonna lie. More upgrades are on the way. Neural Parasite is on the way. Neural Parasite isn't done, which is a little bit worrisome. Erik needs time. Oh boy, it will kind of just come down to one big fight here. Meanwhile, the 5th has finally gotten up for Erik, but the 4th has gotten up. Sorry, the 5th has also gotten up for Rhizer. It's all about like who is getting the more perfect army. Rhizer is the biggest thing that Rhizer is missing is High Templar. There's no High Templar for feedbacks or for Storm. Feedbacks more importantly, especially with the high amount of spellcasters we have here for Erik. Meanwhile, Nova is going to go off, only connects with a single Spore. Erik testing the waters here. More Corruptors are on the way. Again, refining, perfecting this army. Oh boy, we're in for a long one. I feel like Neural Parasite is underutilized. I mean, it's a very niche upgrade. It can come into play, like Neuraling the Carriers is what you want to do. But if there are too many Void Rays and if there's too much on the ground, like your Infestors will just die. It may just be a waste of energy. So, depends on the scenario, depends on how the fight goes. Here we go, the Spore Force has commenced, but it's not ready. Erik basically touching tips with Rhizer. Oh my god, the feedbacks, Oh, we don't see any yet. Oh my god, the High Templar actually went down to the Broodlords. Meanwhile, there is the Fungal and the Power Bomb, but the splits are pretty good here from Rhizer as he just pushes through the army of Erik. Ay. Broodlords are not what you needed here. We needed more of these spellcasters. Unfortunately, all the Vipers and Infestors are gone. It's only Corruptors remaining here for Erik, and Rhizer is just powering on through. There is not enough. This is what I was worried about. We had all these Broodlords, but they were kind of useless. Ay. Supply could have been used a little bit better there, and unfortunately the Spore Force wasn't ready. Unfortunately, and now Rhizer, he's going to be able to take out one base, maybe even a second. He catches the reinforcing Corruptors. Things are not looking good here for the CranKy Ducklings. We do see a bit of a run by with Lings and Ravagers, honestly dealing a lot of damage. But it's all about the main army. Like, Rhizer could lose every single worker, and it doesn't even matter. He's just, again, there's no way to stop this Protoss Death Ball. The Spores are being repositioned. Unfortunately, they weren't in position in time. We have 3-3 on the way for, I guess, Broodlords and Ultras, but that's not going to come into play. Ay. And with that, License to Kill is coming out strong with their Protoss. With a 1-0 lead in this series. Erik, he's down to one base. The Vipers came out, but it's a little bit too late. We do have a power bomb on everything. Yo, maybe he can make something happen here. He's trying to fight within the power bomb to kill the majority of the Interceptors, but there's just not enough Corruptors. GG gets called, and Rhizer takes the first game of this series. Hold on. let me try again. Oh, GG. That's the brutal thing about Beckett, is that one fight happens and then boom, you can just snowball and hit a base from there. Like, it's just so small and slow, so claustrophobic. Meanwhile, Erik still need a little bit of time. His upgrades were also really odd. We saw 3-3 was on the way there for his ground army, when really double Spire and double Flyer upgrades could have served him better. Yeah, feels bad, man. Also, something that's probably more important than all of that is that the game happened so quickly that when we look at the spellcasters, even though we didn't have any feedbacks, we saw 1 fungal and 1 parabomb, despite there being, I believe, 6 infestors and 4 vipers when that fight started. So we didn't see a very good use of those spells, you know, not just when it comes to power bombs and fungals, but more importantly things like abducts, right? You abduct like a carrier or even a couple of void rays in, you pick them off, you slowly chip away at the Protoss army. That's how you want to engage and approach this. Unfortunately, we didn't see that from Erik. Ooh, and License to Kill takes the lead. Oh boy, a very strong lead at that, and a little bit worrying as well, because Erik is our strongest player. He is kind of our ace, and for him to go down in game 1 is worrisome. We'll see if that kind of tells a little bit more here, as we are going to be diving into game number 2. And as... oh, hold on. I should... oh, okay, that's too late. As I should say, it is going to be Ryu versus Rocker. Ugh, another ZVP. We're going to be seeing a lot of this matchup here in this series. And here we go, spawning into game number 2 of this best of 5 team league match. We have the American Protoss player representing License to Kill. He's green. He is Rocker. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Jagannatha LE, we have the Peruvian Zerg player representing the CranKy Ducklings, currently down in the series, but can he help tie it up? It is Ryu. Oof. Beckett, a bit of a rough map for PvZ, just because you can very easily get up to 4 bases if you survive any kind of all-in. Meanwhile, Jagannatha, a little bit more open, still Protoss favored though. But what I will say is, oh, as we have a hatch pool gas opening, interesting. Oh my god. Oh my god. So we have a probe scout here from Rocker, so Rocker sees everything, but this was a very early hatchery for a very early pool. My god. I'm just trying to piece this all together. Part of me is wanting to say like aggression and Ling Flood, but we'll see. Regardless, Rocker does scout the entire opening here, and oh, we actually had a Forge first. A Forge expand. Jesus Christ. I'm not too sure if Ryu is familiar with Rocker. I don't think Ryu ladders too much on NA, but speaking of NA, the cannon rush is happening. Ryu sees all, and is he going to be able to deal with this? Thankfully, because of the early pool, we already have a queen on the way. We should be seeing some links as well, but the pylons will finish up, and we will see a cannon. Oh god, not like this, Ryu. Links are on the way, Spine is on the way. These should be fast enough to deal with the first pylon, but the problem is that there are many more pylons where that came from. Like, these cannons are going to finish. Here we go, the Lings are trying to do what damage they can. They reroute towards a cannon instead of the pylon, which makes a lot of sense. It's a little bit too late to try and focus down the pylon, so he's trying to take out as many cannons as he can. He does take out the first one, and he will be able to take out the second, and then the third. Ryu holds. So there's the queen, no! One shot. A little bit rough there losing the queen. If it wasn't for the queen, I would say that Ryu was perfectly fine. But Rocker getting a queen kill is pretty huge, and I'm pretty sure he's happy with that opener, with that cannon rush. Sure, he doesn't force a cancel on the natural, which is what he really wanted. but could have been worse. Let's look at the units lost. It's gonna be what, 700 minerals? 3 cannons? Yeah, that was a pretty massive investment though. For 1 queen, I take it back, not worth. I guess he also forced a spine as well, so I guess there is that. Meanwhile, Ryu is scouting for a follow-up in case there is more cheese coming his way. And, oh, he just barely misses the probe as the probe is headed towards the bottom right-hand corner of the map. Never mind, he's actually scouting for a 3rd base. Meanwhile, things are kind of evening out here. I imagine Rocker is going to be going into Skytos. Something that I wanted to get into earlier before I was distracted by the odd opener is that Ryu... I would probably say that he's probably the best Duckling when it comes to our best Zerg player when it comes to late game ZVP. I do think that he has superior late game ZVP compared to Erik and Oreo, just because of how much practice Ryu has. Like whenever Ryu plays against Paco Mike and the other Latin American Protosses, he always goes and plays for the late game. And more often than not, he wins in the late game as well. It's not easy by any means, but he does typically come out ahead. We'll see if he can do the same against a North American Protoss instead of a Latin American. We shall see as the 3rd base is on the way. The queens are being remade here. Unfortunately, once again, we do not have WCS Game Heart. Feels bad, man. Shaking my head. We should gotta remind the players next time. Gotta remind them. As there it is, double Stargate Void Ray. So what we expect to see. Oh, but the Lings are going to show up, and yo, the Lings can force a denial of the 3rd. There's nothing on the ground. The Adepts are across the map. So because of that, Rocker will not be getting this 3rd base up and running. My god. Rocker being punished for his greed. Speaking of greed though, 2 drones do get picked off. The Adepts are able to get some nice damage. And because the Lings are across the map, they are not at home to help defend. But there it is. There is the cancel on the 3rd. Another drone goes down. 3 drones in total. But 3 drones for a Nexus? Mate, I'll take that trade. And we'll see where things go from here. You know, creep still hasn't been spread. We don't have a highway going on yet, but we do have a roach warren on the way. So again, Ryu just making sure he doesn't get caught off guard by a Twilight Council opening. Just quickly checking his vision. Yo, shout out to Ryu. He's always on top of this. He does scout the double Stargate. He's well aware of the Void Ray production. Thank God. Interesting. Double Stargate straight into a Twilight Council with gateways. Oh my god. You don't see this every day. And this is kind of scary. So Rocker was forced into this 2-base scenario. Instead of spending his resources into a 3rd Nexus, he's going into a very heavy, very dedicated push. And Ryu is he doesn't know. He's unaware. He needs to scout this. He does confirm the 3rd, but I mean, for all he knows, there's a 3rd, there's like a fleet beacon, you know, there's more carriers and flux veins. He's still in the dark. Thankfully, again, he didn't neglect his Roach Warren, and he's working on +1 range, so if ever need be, he can make Roaches, and he will have Roach Queen to defend against what the Protoss has. Just needs to scout. Just needs to figure out what's going on. As again, a lot of these gateways are hidden, as well as this Twilight Council. I'm waiting to see what's going to be researched here. I want to say Blink, but Charge would, I guess, complement this a lot more. Charge lots and Void Rays. Meanwhile, yo, the Queen Walk has begun. But a couple of queens are getting caught out. Ay, 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 so unlucky here for Ryu. Oh god, as the first queen gets picked off, the second queen as well, the third, and this is too much damage. Losing 3 queens, 4 queens for free? The Void Rays are going to go insane. It's too much. Ay, ay, ay. It's like the Void Rays, they can just fight and another queen goes down. Oh my god, not like this. A couple of slip-ups here and there. Nice target fire on the weakened Void Ray, but again, these Void Rays are going to kill every single queen, and then they can just right-click the hatchery, and it may be game. The Hydras are just barely being squeezed out, and He gets another Void Ray. Ah, God, but it's just such an unfortunate series of events. Yeah, as all the drones are going down, finally the Hydras are coming out. But like, again, one little slip up where 3 queens die and that's it. Like, if it wasn't for that, nowhere near as much damage would have been dealt. Oh, God. I mean, the Void Ray count gets reset, but that was devastating. Oreo left the... Oreo's done. He's like, I've seen enough. I've seen enough of this. I'm gonna go practice. Oh, God. Ryu, he's in a really rough place. He's trying to go into Hive, which makes sense. He wants to go into Hydras, Lurkers, and Vipers. There it is. Lurker then gets thrown down. Oh, God. But what's scary about what Rocker has, which I'm unsure if Ryu has seen yet. Oh, no, never mind. Yo, the Changelings get in! Ryu sees the Gateway Army. He knows that it's not Skytoss. Beautiful. Because of that, the Lurkers are going to be key here. Ryu is still in this. Again, even though Charged Archon is a terrifying composition, if you have enough Lurkers, not even enough, like maybe 4 Lurkers, yo, your defensive position is going to be so strong, and you can elongate the game. Like, Rocker won't be able to hit a timing. So as that Lurker then finishes. Let's go, let's go! Meanwhile, the Hive is on the way. We have our 5th base as well. Very interesting, like, expansion route here for Ryu. Focusing on the bottom left, it does protect his main base from Void Rays, which is the most interesting thing about this. I kind of like it, not gonna lie. I kind of approve. Meanwhile, the creep is being respread. Despite the devastating start, Ryu has been able to recover quite nicely. I mean, look at this. Look at 10 queens died. 10 queens. If there were maybe like 1 or 2 more Void Rays, Rocker would have just straight up won the game. He would have just straight up won. Oh, God, that was brutal. Or even just the Zealots going across the map, to be honest. Meanwhile, Rocker is getting up to 4 bases as well. He's fully walling off, getting his cannons and shield batteries up and running. And we'll see where we go from here. Both players leaving each other alone. Because we don't have a fleet beacon, I think Ryu is okay. I think he's still perfectly fine. If we had a fleet beacon and if we had Skytoss on the way, I would think otherwise. Speaking of, there it is, the fleet beacon that we were talking about. It's going to take a while though. It's going to take a while before carriers. And maybe, actually I say maybe, I think Ryu can hit before the carriers come out. Ryu is maxed out. He's already working on adaptive talents. He's working on Vipers, sorry. He can definitely hit a timing here. He just has to make sure he doesn't miss it. And the unfortunate thing is that Storm is done. So it is still going to be difficult to push into one of these bases. But he's going to go for it. He should be going for it. There we go. Roaches is going to be hitting towards the top left. We do need to clear up a bunch of this supply. Roaches are useless at the moment. Dead supply, mate. But there we go. The Roaches do waddle up. Ryu was just trying to look for where the fresh base was going to be. And with these Roaches, you know, he does force a cancel on some of these buildings. Does confirm what the army is for now. And oh, the signature Ryu move. Double Nidus. You know what the goal is here? I love it. Ryu doesn't intend to hit one of these bases head on. He intends to sneak into one of these bases and Nidus. Get on top of the production. Unfortunately, these Stargates are not in the main base. If they were, this would be a game-winning move for Ryu. The fleet beacon is still vulnerable, so I mean, there is still tech to be gotten, but we'll see as Ryu is walling up towards the top left. He has to be so careful with how he engages. Lurkers are already in position, but oh, look at how many storms there are. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, here we go. It looks like Rocker has given up the base. He's not going to even try to engage here. Here we go. Storm has been revealed. We have our first Nidus. And at the same time, we have a massive Zealot run by. The Lurkers are slowly edging their way closer, but yeah, they can't really push in. The Storms are just too good. And the Zealots are going to be able to deny base. There are some defensive Lurkers, yo, and defensive Queens as well. As Ryu is slowly... Oh, God, that was a brutal storm. Ryu is trying to force his way... No, the storms are too good. Oh, God. Ryu, unfortunately, unable to split here. The bottom right-hand base was taken out, but here we go. This is what I was waiting for. We have a Nidus. Not in the main, but behind a mineral line, it's still pretty good. And the lurkers, they're on it. They're on the case. Another base was killed, not cancelled, and now out come the lurkers. Oh god, first the lurkers have to protect the Nidus. And now they're able to lay siege upon the base. Meanwhile, the Hydras are hitting towards the top left at the same time. The Archons are being taken out. Oh god, but how will the split? Split, Bobby, split the storm! Oh god. The storms and the feedbacks are brutal. The Hydra army gets forced away, but the lurkers are still standing strong and still forcing all this loss mining. Another Nidus in the main and the natural again. Ryu is all about the Niduses. It's so difficult pushing head on into these entrenched positions, right? As a Zerg player, you would understand that. So just go for Niduses. Just avoid the shield batteries and avoid the cannons. And now with lurkers everywhere, the production is in shambles. The production is still standing strong though. Like, there aren't that many lurkers to be fair. So because of that, not that much DPS is going down. Oh god, the Hydras need to be put to use, mate. And here we go, that's exactly what is happening. Finally, some of these cannons are going down. He's trying to pull Rocker apart. Is it going to be enough? Oh god, so many storms are already wasted. And you know what? The High Templar have not been rebuilt. We still have one storm though. Oh god, Rocker, he needs to warp in some more High Templar. He needs to desperately before the Templar Archives gets taken out. Meanwhile, Ryu is giving Rocker so much time. I would love it if he was a little bit more active with his Hydras, but he backs off and all the lurker harass was fancy, but it didn't really get too much done just because there weren't a lot of lurkers. The game goes on. We still have a maxed out Protoss army here. And Ryu is trying to transition into Corruptors. Again, the goal of all those Niduses, I guess in the end, what they accomplished was that they hindered the economy and they allowed Ryu to tech up and get a better army, a superior army, Corruptors, upgrades, Spore Forest. There's a reason why I said that Ryu's late game ZVP is better than Oreo and Erik, to be honest. Like, he knows how to get this done. What's scary, though, is that now this base is up and running. Oh, God. This is worrisome. Meanwhile, the Hydra army is pushing on forward. He has to be careful. There is plenty of detection here. Spores are doing what they can, but the storms blanket everything. Oh, Jesus Christ. We need to see a couple of power bombs, and we do. We do see some power bombs on these Void Rays. We see a lack of splitting as well. But Ryu needs some time to rebuild his army. He lost so much gas-intensive units there, as well as all of his spores. Rocker trading much more efficiently. Oh, let me quickly check. A couple of workers did go down here, but the lurker was eventually cleaned up. And Ryu is dancing with fire. Decent yoink. Can he get one carrier? Up, up. Does get one. One carrier for one Viper. I don't know about that. Oh god, Ryu is hurting, man. He's hurting. He's trying to get his economy up and running. He has a decent worker count. He just needs more time. He needs more lurkers, more broodlords. Broodlords and more corruptors. Something we also have to commend is his creep spread. Because of his creep spread, sure, Rocker gets his 5th base up and running, but getting a 6th base is going to be quite difficult, at least over here on the right-hand side. Over here on the left feels a little bit more natural to him, for him. But we'll see. What I'm worried about as well is that, yo, that Spore Force that we had earlier, it's gone. Where is it? It's not here. Oh, God. And now Ryu's right-hand base is under threat. Lurkers are burrowing. They're trying to take out as many of the High Templar as they can. Where are the storms? We see the feedbacks on top of the Vipers, but he doesn't get all of them. There's still enough energy here for that blinding cloud. A couple of storms are missing, actually. He does get the base, but doesn't get the storms and the Corruptors. Meanwhile, massive shout out to Shakti. Gracias, amigo. Fala, galera. To all the Portuguese people in the chat. Massive shout out to Shakti. He was the Portuguese stream for the ages. We already casted Erik. Erik did go down in game number 1, but Ryu is here fighting strong. Massive love. Less than 3. Hold on. Can I do this? Can I do this? Webcam 1. Less than 3, Shakti. Less than 3. Oh god. Get me out of here. There we go. Oh. Meanwhile, again, Ryu, he's hunting. He's sharking for a stray carrier whenever he can find one. Instead, he catches these zealots. As another base is getting up and running. +3 is on the way, though. He's not letting up on those corruptor upgrades. He's got a lot of them. Meanwhile, this... No! The unburrow! Ryu, ¿por qué? Ay, ay, ay. Okay, the lurkers are in position. The zealots don't really find too much damage. Ryu is well aware of the top left and the top right. Oh god, he's feeling so pressured to stop one of these bases. Also, I do question Ryu a little bit. He has a pretty big bank. Yo, where are the spores? Where are the spores? We need a spore forest. There it is. He can hear me from a day in the past. Without spores, it's... I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's so difficult pushing to these carriers. Abduct. Beautiful. We get one abduct. Another carrier gets picked up. Archons were not in position. Meanwhile, this is scary. If this base goes up uninterrupted, like, we are in for a long one. Like, I'm really concerned for Ryu. Bit of a zealot run by. It's not going to deal too much damage. There is detection though, so ooh, actually all these lurkers are going to go down, and Ryu has to respond. Oh, he's getting pulled apart, and Rocker is double expanding. Like this is not good. Oh god. Beleza. We should make more lurkers. I mean, he does have a lot of lurkers here, and oh god, oh no, the feedbacks, ay ay ay. Lurkers are not what he needs. More vipers, maybe even infestors as well would be nice. God, but he has to be so careful. What's important though is that, again, there's only enough energy for, I believe, one more storm. Oh, he gets the yoink. That's the last storm. Those lurkers, they're almost in range of the base. Almost. The spores are moving forward. We're getting more energy on our vipers. There we go. More vipers are on the way. This is scary. Dark Shrine is being thrown down for DT harass. We're going to need some spores in these bases, on these fringe bases, mate. The map has been split in half. Oh god, the lurker's actually getting a lot of free damage off on those Archons. Jesus Christ. And the lurkers are slowly leapfrogging forward. I don't know. Okay, there we go. We do have some more High Templar being morphed in. Ryu is a little bit out of position, so he loses 3 lurkers for free. Oh, we do have a couple of yoinks on the Tempest of all things. I mean, he will pick off 2 Tempests and a Void Ray, so decent trade for Ryu. God, but he's starting to run out of a bank, a mineral bank specifically. Greater Spire is on the way for those Broodlords. That's the thing, like, I wanted a Greater Spire earlier. Like, Lurkers are okay, but getting Broodlords out are just superior. Ugh. I mean, they're slow, to be fair. They're immobile. Rocky is not letting up with his High Templar production. He just always has a storm. How many Vipers do we have? Let's have the... I feel like the Units tab is a little bit more useful here. 5 Vipers are out. They're slowly coming across the map. A couple of storms are connecting. God. Yeah, that's the thing. There's a bit of a dance going on here. The lurkers need to be here, otherwise the storms just blanket everything. But at the same time, the Tempest countered the Lurkers if there's detection. Ay, ay, ay. Slow, methodical. We're gonna see a yoink. We do see one. One Viper for one carrier. Oh god, the Tempests are exposed actually. Jesus Christ, we'd see some 4 yoinks, 4 Tempests go down immediately. Oh, Rocker, you can't trade like that. Again, getting a little bit too over eager with his Tempests. And the Templar needs to be more forward. The Abducts still go up. And just like that, 2 more Tempests go down and the Vipers can just gather more energy. To be fair, we have 7 Tempests being produced at a time. Like, Rocker has the economy to sustain these losses, which is the rough thing to see. Despite Ryu trading better here, like Rocker, because he got these bases up and running, mate, he's making, again, 7 Tempests at a time. That's crazy. He can lose his army and rebuild it almost instantly. It's insane. Meanwhile, this is what I was worried about. DTs are going across the map. Blink is finally completed. Do we have spores? We do not have spores in the... Okay, we have spores towards the bottom right and 1 towards the center left. But the DTs actually sneak into the main. Oh, the tech! No, the DTs are here. Ay, ay, ay. Couple of nice abducts, but again the corruptors are so bruised, they're taking so much damage and they're fighting here. No, not within the storm, not within prismatic alignments, but they take down every single void ray and now it is time. They want to try and go toe to toe with the Tempest and it looks like he has enough to one shot or to at least take down all the Tempest. He's doing it. Ryu breaks through. I was worried about fighting the Void Rays, but he knew better than I did. At the same time, we have a single Dropper Lord with a single harassing Lurker. Every single Tempest goes down, and with all these Lurkers, so will all these bases. At the same time, though, the DTs, they killed the Hive, they killed both Spires. No more Corruptors. There's no more Corruptor production. Ay, ay, ay. Ryu, he actually turns around, he comes back home. Oh my god, there are so many DTs. And so many DTs just died for free. Do we have detection? We do have detection here. Eventually, the DTs are going to be cleaned up. But the DTs did so much for Rocker. Again, killing the tech, killing the spawning pool as well. The only thing that Ryu can make are Hydras. And Hydras are not what you want against Tempest. You want Corruptors, and he just can't make any. Meanwhile, DTs are getting even more damage done, killing as many spores as possible. The mass DTs is really working out for Rocker. But you know what? Rocker, he just spent his bank. DTs are expensive, and he made so many of them. 11 DTs died, we have 6 more here. This Lurker still hasn't been dealt with. Finally, it goes down. But here we go, Ryu is remaxed. He still has enough left over Corruptors, and Hydras may not be the best anti-air, but yo, when you have Vipers and when you have Abducts, it is good enough. As we see Tempest after Tempest fall, Ryu said, Protoss, PvZ, late game, unwinnable? Mate, hold my beer. Let's go. With this patient play, with the Lurkers, with the spores, Ryu has broken through our North American Protoss player. And even though Erik fell in game number 1, Ryu makes up for that here in game number 2. We do still have DTs harassing, but mate, it's only 2 DTs. And what are 2 DTs going to really do in the face of this entire Zerg army? Ryu, Los Patos, Los CranKy Ducklings. We're not going down without a fight. I was so concerned after Ryu went down, mate. Our ace player, like, oh god, I was like, not like this. It was not a good way to start things off, especially morale-wise. But we see here that Ryu, he was unfazed by that. He's like, mate, PvZ, that's my bread and butter. That's what I'm known for. More Niduses going down. The DTs are doing what they can, but again, everything here in the main base. Rocker has 0, he has nothing in production. 0 things are being produced right now. What is he doing? He's trying to do what he can with Zealots and DTs. He has some High Templar for Storm, to be fair. Yo, but with the Nidus, Ryu, he just comes back home. And home he is. The Zealots, they cannot break this fortified location. There's still plenty of Hydras across the map. We have detection. We have overseers. We got more than enough overseers. Most providing detection are cannons and observers. I know it's a 2-minute delay, but cannons and observers. Oh god. And yeah, with that, I mean, Rocker is still fighting his heart out. You know, he's doing this. He's doing this for his team. He still has an army. Not the best army, but it's still an army. It's just one of those things where head-to-head, Rocker cannot fight what Ryu has. He's just going for the base trade instead, which is his only way to win, to be fair. Unfortunately, Ryu, he is heavily fortified here. He has Niduses to come back home. He only needs to protect one base, really, and he'll be fine. Oh, we even have Lurkers here set up at home. Ugh. And there is no easy way for Rocker to deal with the Lurkers. He actually has no detection. Looking at the units, there is one observer, and it's here at the only mining base left of Rocker. The last bastion of hope for the Protoss. That hope, mate, it's going down. Oh god, we see a recall? Question mark? We see a recall towards the top left? Okay, interesting. Rocker, he's still fighting. He still wants to try and hold on here. Maybe he can with Storm. Like, never underestimate Storm. Pushing up a ramp, it can be scary. It can be difficult. God, we'll see if he can do it. He's trying to close the distance. He's trying to get on top of these lurkers. He does land with the storm, but it's not gonna be enough. GG gets called, and Ryu ties up the series. Ah. GG. Oh my god, I was so scared. I was so scared. It happened a while ago when Ryu lost 10 queens. When Ryu lost 10 queens for free, I was terrified. I was like, my heart sank when that happened. I don't know if you could tell. I don't know if you could tell in my voice and the way that I was casting. Well, my heart sank hard, and it took. And not just that, it was also when Rocker got his 4th base. When Rocker got his 4th base, that was scary as well. I'm like, no, the game is gonna go on longer. Oh my god. It was so close. It was very back and forth. But GG. GG, well played. Ryu, he does it. He does it for the Ducklings. He wins his game. He did his job. And now we move on to game number 3. Oh boy, I see a bunch more people coming in, especially the people from Shakti's chat. If you are unaware, this is a team league match. Let me just quickly show the score on the screen at the moment. As you can see, we just finished up game number 2. Rhizer won game 1 for License to Kill. Ryu took game number 2 for the CranKy Ducklings. And now we are diving into game number 3, Oreo versus Maplez. Again, Australia versus North America. Maplez is a very solid player. Maplez made it into the group stage. Sorry. The group stage of DreamHack Winter. Maplez actually was there. He even beat Neeb in a PvP. Maplez is one of the best that America has to offer. Can Oreo bring it to it? We're gonna find out. We are gonna find out, people, as we are getting ready to dive into Oxide LE. Oh boy, who's gonna take a lead in this series? We're tied up. We're 1-1. Where will we go? As here we go. We are spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Oxide LE. We have the Canadian Protoss player. He is yellow, representing License to Kill. It is Maplez. Why are you casting with a 2-minute delay? True! In the chat, Thorn, true. I'm casting with a 2-minute delay because we just casted a tournament. I should have restarted the stream to turn off the delay. Feels bad, man. You're not wrong, you're not wrong. That's my bad. I didn't want to turn off the stream because we would lose viewership, because people were watching from one tournament straight into the next. Feels bad, man. But spawning in the top right hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the Australian Zerg player. He is blue, representing the CranKy Ducklings, the best Zerg player in all of Australia. It is Oreo. Oreo, the best that Australia has to offer when it comes to Zerg. He's up there with Ryu, 5.8k. Can Oreo do it? That is the question. He took down Pure Legacy last week. Can he take down Maplez, another NA player? That's the question. I know I was speaking to Oreo before this Team League match, and Oreo was hoping to get Rocker. He was like, give me Rocker, give me Rhizer. I beat them all the time. Maplez is a little bit trickier because he can be very cheesy, so... God, we'll see what Oreo has to offer here, as we do see the natural is forced in the unnatural location. The unnatural natural, if you will. Maplez forcing a denial here. And we'll see if Maplez goes for Glaive Adepts. This can be a pretty good map for it. Not gonna lie. Meanwhile, shout out to Quirky Cast in the chat, subscribing for 30 months. Jesus Christ. Remember when we played in Team League? Yes, yes. The nostalgia. Back in the day, years ago, the CranKy Ducklings, we played in an amateur Team League where I played. I was the ace player. Quirky was there. Yaku was there. Lumia. Catatonic. Kuro. We used to play in a Team League match back in a Team League back in the day. Validity Team League. And now we're back, but with a pro roster. Not with a bunch of amateurs. Oh boy, oh boy. Alright, here we go. So, I'm just really curious to see what the tech option is going to be for Maplez. You know, are we going to see a Twilight Council, or are we going to see that Stargate? There it is. My question has been answered. We do have a Stargate opener from Maplez. And Oreo is a little bit in the dark. We do have a Stalker first here, denying any scouting from this Overlord. So Oreo, he's just stuck outside the main base, not fully aware of what is coming his way. So hopefully we see a bit of a follow-up scout. Regardless, he's going to know when the Void Ray shows up. What I'm really curious of, what I'm scared of, is that if it's not a Void Ray first, if it's an Oracle first, there is so much potential for the Oracle to deal damage, especially because Oreo is the kind of player who cuts corners and relies on Queens to defend, not Spores. Oh boy. We shall see. Thankfully, it's not an Oracle first. It is going to be a Void Ray coming out from Maplez, so... I'm feeling safe. I'm feeling secure about Oreo right now. He's okay. He's okay. As he's continuing to pump out more and more queens, he's working on that creep highway, and there is that Roach Warren. A Roach Queen push is quite common from Oreo. He can also go for some Hydra timings, to be fair, but obviously it's a little bit early for that. We do see him fan out all of his links all over the map to look for any kind of proxy, to look for a third base, and the Void Ray reveals itself. Now Oreo knows 100% it's a Stargate opener. He doesn't have to worry about Glaive Adepts. Oh, as the lane gets pushed away. And maybe I'm getting too ahead of myself, because we don't see a second Stargate. We see another gateway. Gases are being taken. Are we going to see some more tech? That is my question, as we have an Oracle as a follow-up. Oh my. And a second Stargate. Never mind. Never mind. I was like, yo, are we going to actually see a Twilight Council? No, no. It is a second Stargate. We're getting the Sky Tusk. We're getting the Void Rays. Which, to be fair, Oreo should be used to. Did he cancel the Roach Warren earlier? It looks like he did. Oh my. Well, the Roach Warren is still on the way. The Void Ray is really struggling to find any damage whatsoever, but there we go. We do have the third base. Unfortunately, this third is at the triangular, not over here horizontally. If it was horizontally, it would have been ideal for Oreo, because the creep is already being spread in that direction. This one here is a little bit more difficult to push into from the side of Oreo. And with that, he actually opts not to go for a queen push. We have a lair instead. So he's setting himself up for the later stage of the game. I wouldn't be surprised if we see an Evo Chamber, if we see a Hydra Den in the end. As the Adepts are cleaned up, but the Adepts did scout the lair. Oh boy. Meanwhile, the Oracle's gonna dip in. I mean, just scout anything that he missed. Maybe get a couple of drone kills. Nope. Queen is in position. Oracle gets forced back. And the lair is about to finish. So I'm curious. We have 3 gases. Never mind. We have a lot of gas. Spire or Hydra Den. I'm still leaning towards Hydras, but we'll see. We'll see. Oh, as the Adepts are being quite annoying here. We have roaches in production to make sure that the Adepts don't get out of control. Oh, the Void Rays are looking to try and get a queen, and it looks like they just barely will not. Yes, the queens are able to show up here and deal with what they can. A little bit of a messy defense, but at least too many workers haven't gone down. At least 7 in total. And again, like, what is this lair for? We still don't see anything. We have more queens in production. I guess he's still going for a queen Roach Ravager push. Okay. There it is. I'm like, what? Where's the tech? We have so much gas? It is the Spire. We have a Spire follow-up, so Oreo isn't all in. He pushes out a little bit, again, threatening his opponents. But I'd be surprised if he's able to take out this third base. Maybe he can. Maybe he can. As he's edging ever closer, we have a 4th base behind this. I do think that Oreo, more than anything, is just trying to scare his opponent. Like, we have drones behind this. Like, I think Oreo just wants to force Maplez to overreact. And he is. Like, 5... Look at all this stack defense. 5 shield batteries. We have all these cannons being thrown down. A lot of resources are being spent to survive when Oreo is turning around. Like, he's not fighting. The queens are... getting ahead of themselves. So, no, the queens, no! This is scary. This is terrifying. If all these queens die, the Void Rays can go across the map and end the game. Like, it can be just over, just like that. Ay. Couple of bios connect, but it looks like every single queen is going to go down. Oreo, he overstayed his welcome. No! And we need as much anti-air as possible now, otherwise the Void Rays will get out of control. We have Mutas, not Corruptors? Okay. I mean, Mutas, they can harass quite well, and the main and the natural are exposed. I'm just worried that just pure Void Ray is going to end the game. Like, I was worried for the same reason when Ryu lost all his queens. Like, how can Oreo stop this? The answer is he won't. He can't stop this. The hatchery is dead. It's just gone. The Mutas are going to try and show up, but it's a little bit too late. And honestly, the Void Rays, they can just fight the Mutas. Ay. And just like that, Maplez kills every single Muta, kills the hatchery, and there's nothing stopping him. If he wants, he can keep going. GG gets called. Oof. And Maplez takes the lead in this series. Ay. Losing all those queens was disastrous for Oreo. GG. Maplez takes the game. And now we are out of the PVZs. Oh, that was so rough there by Oreo. Like, I love what he was doing. You know, he was killing the rocks. He was forcing response. When he turned around with his roaches, I thought he was going to turn around with his queens. And I think he was intending to turn around with his queens. But because he just kept going, he got caught in the stasis, and that was it. That was game. As like, you can tell in my voice, as soon as that stasis happened, it's like, well, it's over. Like, there are no backup queens. The Spire was too late. There was just nothing to stop the Void Rays. And Oreo probably knew that as well. The only way that Oreo could have survived is if he had thrown down as many spores as possible at home. Like as many spores at his fringe bases. Unfortunately, he didn't. He only had that single spore. So, yeah. Shaking my head, Oreo. Shaking my head. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. With that, License to Kill does take a lead in the series. License to Kill only needs one more win to take the entire series, and I am scared. I am scared because our next matchup is going to be a TVP. StarDuck is going to be coming out against Kozan, and StarDuck's worst matchup, his worst matchup is against Terran, his PVT. He has been having a really hard time against Terran. He had a show match on Saturday, and StarDuck lost 0-7. Azure had his way with StarDuck, so I am really concerned. It is a best of one, so maybe StarDuck can make something happen here, something cheesy. I expect to see cheese from him, but I am really concerned. I'm really concerned. Oh boy. Give your energy. StarDuck needs your energy right now if we want to go to the ace match. Otherwise, this will be a point or a series towards License to Kill. We'll see. Here we go. Oh boy. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Romanticide ALE, we have our American Terran player. He is green, representing License to Kill. It is Kozan. Kozan even. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Romanticide ALE, we have the Australian Protoss player himself, the CranKy Duckling, the Duck of the Stars. It is StarDuck. He needs your energy, people. Oh god, I'm so worried about him. Kozan, a very solid American Terran player, and again, StarDuck is not confident in this matchup, not at all. What are we going to see here? I think what's great about StarDuck is that he does have a very wide array of builds available to him. He can do anything. He can go for Disruptor drops, he can go for Colossus drops, he can go for some proxies, he can go for Glaive Adept timings, or even Blink Stalker timings, all in this matchup, even some Charge all-ins. Even DT Blink. He whipped out DT Blink against Azure, fun fact. But, yeah. It is quite worrisome, quite worrisome. I'm curious to see what he has, what build he's going to open up with. As he does scout his opponents, he does probe scout, he confirms that Kozan is not proxying, he confirms that the Rax is at home. So far, everything is looking pretty normal here. Oh boy. Meanwhile, as For Sure says in the chat, huh. It is a replay stream they played yesterday during Battle of the Americas. Unfortunately, we couldn't cast live because, you know, Battle of the Americas does take priority. StarDuck is going to lose this initial probe. He does confirm that there is going to be no natural in location, but he doesn't know how committed Kozan is here to this one base play. We do see Kozan though, he is going to get this natural base. He has plenty of minerals for it, but he did delay it quite a bit. Ooh, as we have Hellions on the way. Oh my god. Okay, I was keeping an eye on the map to see if there was maybe an SCV out on the map to proxy a starport for a Hellion drop, but no, we don't have that whatsoever. We just have Hellions, we have our Reaper, and we could see Kozan try and break through here into the main or into the natural, if there was a wall. Which there will be a wall at some point. And oh my god, we have a robo opening from StarDuck. Okay, this can go a couple of different ways. One, obviously without a Twilight Council, there's no blink or anything. We could see an additional gateway and we could see some 3-gate pressure, or we could see a fast Robotics Bay into a fast Colossus, which would make sense on Romanticide, as this is one of the larger maps. Meanwhile, oh god, the Hellions and the Reapers slip into the main base. They're going to be able to get a full scout off. They don't scout yet, but probes are forced off the line. Thankfully, the Hellion goes down, which is the biggest issue, but oh god, the Reapers can just micro their heart out. Ay. The Adepts will eventually clean this up, but look at how many probes have gone down. 6 probes! At this level of play, that's almost game-ending damage. Ay. The Reaper will go down. There we go. The Reaper will go down. Ooh, and interesting. We don't have a fast Robotics Bay. We have Immortal production. What? Okay. Okay, you have my attention, StarDuck. I'm very curious indeed. Meanwhile, we have 4 Adepts going across the map. What do we have at home to defend? We have a bunker, but there is plenty of room here for the Adepts to shade behind the mineral line and wreak havoc. At the same time, there's a bit of a Widowmine drop, and I'm so concerned. StarDuck, notoriously, he struggles against Widowmine drops. Please notice, please split, puppy. As the Adepts are shading in, they get behind the mineral line, forcing all this lost mining time. But the Widowmine drop comes in. StarDuck, please. He doesn't notice. 4 14 probes have gone down this game. Meanwhile, the Adepts are getting a lot of SCV kills, to be fair. Oh my god, an insane amount, an obscene amount. Jesus Christ. 6 SCVs do go down, so at least he's able to deal some counter damage. But, god, those Widow Mines. And they were both saved as well. Kozan, he can dive back in. Oh boy. Meanwhile, +1 is on the way. Of course, StarDuck is skipping Blink, which I think is the right call. Because he is behind at the moment, trying to go Blink first and then charge is not going to work out for him. Fun fact, StarDuck is still ahead in workers. The first Widow Mine will be dealt with. Thankfully, there is no armory, so there's no detection required to deal with it. But one more Widow Mine is dipping into the main. Oh god, no! Pull one! Oh, thank god. And StarDuck for now has dealt with the Widow Mine, but now we have a Raven follow-up for even more harass. We still don't have a third CC, which is a little bit worrisome. There we go, an engineering bay has been thrown down. Oh. And the Raven forcing more lost mining. I just tried to show the economy, but I can't because we don't have Game Heart. God damn, these guys, get Game Heart. Dark Shrine is thrown down. Interesting. Very interesting. I'm really curious to see if StarDuck commits... oh, Kozan, really good TVP. We got unlucky with StarDuck. Kozan wanted the TVP and StarDuck wanted to avoid the TVP. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Rocker, of course, is the team captain for License to Kill. Meanwhile, Rocker, here we go. The push is coming. Charge and +1 is going to finish up for this. But StarDuck doesn't have an army. And StarDuck also didn't scout the move out. He does have eyes on the main base, but he just doesn't have a lot here. God, this push is going to hit like a truck. And StarDuck needs shield batteries. He needs zealots. He needs army. He has almost nothing. He has 5 zealots and an immortal. I don't even know what the immortal... the immortal's in the main. Oh, God. And with this, Kozan is about to rock up, right-click on the third base. The third will go down. To be fair, you can argue that StarDuck can afford to lose the third base because Kozan is also on 2 base. Oh, God. But can he hold on here? The Raven for the DTs! And no shield batteries. Oh, God. We were on such a good win streak, but GG gets called. License to Kill will take this series. Now I know why StarDuck didn't want to cast with me. But GG, well played. Congratulations, License to Kill. We knew that it was going to be a hard one. License to Kill is one of the stronger teams in the team league, and got a little bit unlucky there. I know Oreo is probably hitting himself for his series. I know that he can do better. I know he knows he can do better. Erik as well. I mean, fun fact, no one wants to play on Beckett Industries, and Erik, he drew the short end of the stick, and he was like, fine, I'll do it. I'll play on Beckett, even though I want to avoid it, and yeah, we saw what happens. We saw what happens on Beckett Industries. I kind of want to field StarDuck on Beckett, not gonna lie. But regardless, GG, well played. Kozan, he does it for License to Kill. Ryu was able to fight back and put a point on the board. But unfortunately, Ryu, you can't carry in a Pro League format. You know, we need to have a solid team, not just one player. And in the end, License to Kill was the better team. I do think that we can still make it out of the group stage. If you look at the Wikipedia page for Berserker Team League, we're kind of in the middle of the pack. But I believe that we can make it through the group stage into the playoffs. The playoff bracket is going to be brutal, but we can get there. We can get there. Oh. Yeah, GG. Oh, boy. And with that, congratulations. Of course, we do take the loss here, but we still have a pretty good record overall in the group stage. Next week, we have a bye. So next week we won't be playing, or I should say, this weekend the CranKy Ducklings won't be playing a match. We have a bye there the week after. So in 2 weeks, we will be going up against Apprentice Esports. Apprentice Esports, another very scary team. Apprentice Esports, their players are Antis, Disc, Ruichi, Uko, Zero, and Disrespect. Antis and Disc are very solid players, so they're pretty scary. They're pretty scary. And we do have to take them seriously, so fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, hopefully we can redeem ourselves a little bit. Honestly, I feel like Apprentice Esports is the strongest team in the team league, so if we are able to beat them, like, that'd be pretty good, like, morale-wise, and a pretty good showing overall. We don't have to beat Apprentice to make it through the group stage, but it would be nice. It would be nice. Even if we do lose against Apprentice Esports, we just have to beat Dominaticus, and Dominaticus seems to be the weakest team in the team league. So I kind of want to say we're a sure thing to make it out of the group stage, but I don't want to be overconfident. You know, I want to leave some. I want to respect the other teams. You know, like maybe they can make something happen. But yeah, we're doing pretty well. Doing pretty well. Just not well enough. Just not well enough. Congratulations, License to Kill. And with that, I hope everyone had a good stream today. We had a pretty long broadcast. Let me just quickly check here. Almost 6 hours. Almost 6 hours live. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Even though Erik lost here in the team league, Erik was able to win the entire tournament earlier today. So he was able to win a copy of Age of Empires 2. Age of Empires 4. So massive shout out to Erik. And shout out to all of our players as well. We may have lost, but again, we're going to still practice hard. We still have plenty of individual leagues to work on, and we'll be back better and stronger against Apprentice Esports. Count on it. Count on it. And with that, thank you everyone for watching. That is the end of our broadcast for today. We may be back tomorrow for ESL Open Cup Americas. Honestly, I'm not feeling it. We may just have a day off tomorrow. But be sure to check us out, you know, on the social medias. We post whenever we go live. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. Plenty of StarCraft here on the CranKy Ducklings. If we're not live tomorrow with ESL Open Cup Americas, we are going to be live on Wednesday with Grand Platypus Open. GPO, where you can see players like StarDuck and Oreo go up against the rest of Oceania and Southeast Asia. Ooh. And with that, thanks everyone for watching. I need to go watch the VODs of Stay at Home Story Cup. I missed it. I missed all of Stay at Home Story Cup. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. So I gotta catch up on the VODs. If you want to tune in to my personal streams, tomorrow I'm going to be streaming Final Fantasy 12. Over at light_VIP. So if you're interested in that, follow me there. Otherwise, hope everyone had a good time. Hope everyone enjoyed their StarCraft, and we will see you next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Oh, also, exclamation mark Matcherino. Exclamation mark Matcherino in the chat if you want to support the tournaments. Berserker Team League does have a Matcherino page, and you can add 50 cents to the prize pool. So give them plenty of love. There are plenty of very good teams that are a part of it, and they deserve the support. With that, thank you everyone, and we'll see you next time. Ciao!